All right, in today's lesson, you're going to practice finding the volume of pyramids. Notice the difference between the formulas is the fact we have this fraction 1/3 added. It's because a pyramid is exactly 1/3 of the volume of a prism that has the same base measurements and the same height. Okay, the activity that I gave you, the link is a really cool activity if you have time to try it. All right, let's look at how to use this formula. We do volume is equal to, we need 1/3. We're going to multiply that by the length and the width of the base. So I got to find that base. There it is. I'm going to call the length the 12th and the width the 6th, but you could go ahead and reverse those. It wouldn't matter. And now the height of the figure is always obviously marked right there of 8. All right, so now volume is equal to, well, I can do the 1/3 times 12 in my head because that's the same thing as do 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So it's 4 times 6, which is 24, and then that times 8. Well, 24 times 8 turns out to be 192. And now again, look, I multiplied 3 sides together, so that's why it's going to be meters cubed. Now let's explore how will you do this if the base is a triangle. All right, notice right here is our formula for yesterday. And then again, we have the 1/3, and it's because of that idea that the pyramid is always a third of the prism that has the same base and same height. Okay, but now let's look at what happens whenever I multiply these two fractions together, 1/3 times 1/2. I would end up getting 1/6. So that's why the simplified formula is to do 1/6 times the base and height of the triangle, and then remember the big H is actually the height of the figure. And I wrote down a 1/2 instead of a 6. So let me go ahead and erase that and change it to my 1/6. I'm so used to using 1/2 in triangles that I automatically did that. Okay, here we go. 1/6 times. Let's find our base. Here it is. And there's my right triangle. So I know my base has to be touching that right angle marking. And so therefore, I could really use either one of these, but I need to use the 6 and the 8. So I'm going to go 6 and then times 8. The 10, let's talk about that. If that's a right triangle, that's our hypotenuse, which is neither the base or the height. Okay. All right, now we need to multiply that by the height of the figure, and here it is, which is 9. All right, volume equals, I can do the 1/6 times 6 in my head because it's just 6 divided by 6, which is 1. So I go 1 times 8, which is 8, times 9, which is 72. Now I find my units and I do yards, and again, since 3 sides were multiplied together, it's yards cubed.